Thank you all. I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Andrew Wilhelm, as Abby already did, with LED North America. I want to tell you an exciting story about our company, a new product we've launched in the LED marketplace. Before I get going on the first slide, I just want to, preface that heat is the enemy for LEDs. You may not know that. They think they're cooler, but heat is the enemy. The better you can manage the heat, the better your LEDs can perform, the longer they're going to last, the better your efficacy, your lumens per watt is going to be. So keep in mind that heat's the enemy. Our new product that we've launched is a new arena light for sports arenas. And this actually is a picture here of Thompson Bowling Arena. You can see all the clutter up there with the catwalk, with the current lighting they have. The current lighting uses 1,000-watt metal halide lamps. It's very energy inefficient. It's bulky, takes up a lot of weight in the catwalk, and it's quite frankly a pain from a maintenance standpoint. They're constantly changing ballasts and lamps. What we've developed is our new Super Sport light, which incorporates our LED technology. This thing only weighs 22 pounds, can be catwalk mounted, and also has intelligent controls built into it for dimming, instant on, some really nice features that we have inside this light. I had to rotate this, it's sort of tough to see, but this is actually a picture of Thompson Bowling Arena. And at the very top edge here, you can see hopefully it shows up, but how much whiter that light is compared to the rest of the picture. That's our LEDs that we had for a test installation this past summer at Thompson Bowling. Candidly, I think they were a little bit hesitant and doubtful that we could actually put an LED product at Thompson Bowling and mount it at 110 feet and be able to throw the light down there, but we actually did. This I just want to throw up here really quickly to show the color spectrum, where it has, the first one's the color spectrum of sunlight, the next slide is the color spectrum from our LEDs, and the third slide is the color spectrum for your typical metal halide. So you can see the color spectrum for LEDs really mimics very closely sunlight compared to other lighting sources out there. That's why LEDs, even though they may not have enough foot candles down there, look a lot brighter than conventional light sources. Secret to our success, so to speak, we have a license from the Oak Ridge National Lab for the use of a graphite foam technology. And we've used this technology to build our commercial light a couple years back in our Trinity line, but the graphite foam actually is a super thermal conductor of heat. Remember I told you heat's sort of the enemy. So what we've been able to do is manage the heat much, much better than our competition out there. As such, we are actively cooling our new Super Sport and cooling the graphite foam, and because of that, we've completely eliminated aluminum as a heat sink mechanism for LEDs. Every competitor out there uses aluminum. We've completely eliminated it. What that has done for us is decreased the size of our light and substantially decreased the weight. This here is a comparative look at our main competitor there on the far right. Their light weighs 107 pounds. Our light weighs 22. It's more powerful from an energy consumption standpoint, which is bad. They're at 605 watts. Ours is only 400. If you look at the next second line down there, the lumens per watt, how much light are you generating for each watt of power? We're generating 95 lumens per watt. They're only generating 71. The market for our light, there's about 2,500 arenas in the United States. About 600 of those are privately managed. I will tell you that one of the non-privately managed arenas, we just were recently awarded the contract for installing the Super Sport at Thompson Bowling Arena. So that'll be our first big foray into that. I will also add that we have a strategic alliance with a national lighting partner that has connections with arenas throughout the United States that instantaneously gives us a national sales force like that. These arena contracts are not, how do you want to say, your onesie-twosie type thing. So they are high-dollar contracts. Your typical contract will probably be in the 300 to 400, maybe 500,000, depending on that. I will tell you that we have lights going into Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, and probably the biggest opportunity we have is with the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. That's owned by Comcast, actually, and Comcast owns Comcast Sports, and under Comcast Sports you have the Philadelphia Flyers, the Philadelphia 76ers, they have a food service that does facility management, and they also have a company called Global Spectrum, which manages 120 facilities across the United States. The guy that runs that whole program for us, he's actually coming down to Thompson Bowling when we get those installed in January, and he wants to put our light, hopefully, in all 120 facilities that he manages. So we have an enormous market potential here. We're doing something a little bit different compared to the competition. Instead of just selling a light, we're actually selling light itself. So instead of selling a fixture, we're going to go out and sell light. So we're going into with this business model as a performance contract, where, for example, at Thompson Bowling, we're going in there for 5 years. We're guaranteeing that we're going to hit the 200-foot candle spec that they need for NCAA broadcasts for the next 5 years. If something happens where a light doesn't work or it falls below that 200-foot candle threshold, it's up to us to go in there and fix it. Believe me, the energy technicians, the electric technicians down at Thompson Bowling can't wait for us to get the lights in because they have to lug ballasts upstairs, and it's just it's not a pretty picture there. So hopefully we'll be able to, we will be able to completely eliminate the maintenance issues for Thompson Bowling. Do a quick slide up here. 2 years from now, hopefully these are conservative looking, but just selling 30 arenas, we should be generating in excess of $10 to $12 million in revenue. Our developmental team, I'm going to go down. James Klett at the Oak Ridge National Lab has been super to work with. The next gentleman down there, he's in the audience. I just want to give a couple of little kudos to him. But Vig Sherrill has been outstanding in performing and assisting us with developing our Super Sport light. He actually keeps telling me, don't give him accolades, but he has designed the computer software that goes on this light. And going back to the heat is the enemy, we have 7 temperature probes built into our light. So we can monitor the temperature inside of the components that we have. So, and it's real time. So at Thompson Bowling, for example, if we look at light 23, oh my gosh, this thing's running 10, 15 degrees Celsius higher than what it has been for the last couple of months. We can preemptively go in there, check that out, and make changes before we have a catastrophic failure. Nothing our competitors can do. In summary, we have superior technology. This is a brand new evolving market. The HD TV specs are coming out for every pro sport and college. It's going to basically force arenas to go to LED. We have a strong strategic partner to hit us on a national basis. The performance contracts give us recurring revenue, and we are possibly going to be looking at some working capital to get the UT program and these other ones launched. We may be looking for one more 10% equity investor. With that, thank you very much, and I appreciate your time.